Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Of course, our official website, thestephenknightshow.com. Check us out on our YouTube channel, Stephen Knight Show. So Wendy Williams has been keeping a very low profile as she continues to take care of her health. However, she has returned to the spotlight as Lifetime recently released a trailer for her upcoming two-part documentary, Where's Wendy Williams? The new doc sheds light on her personal struggles of the former talk show host. The trailer showcases Williams' battles with addiction, health issues, and her court-ordered guardianship. As the public catches a glimpse of her hardships, concerns about her well-being and the guardianship system are raised. The documentary trailer offers a deeper look into Williams' life, revealing her ongoing health issues and challenges she faces. Shots of Wendy hint at severity of her health concerns, including weight loss and cognitive awareness. Her family expresses their worries about her well-being, questioning the guardianship system that has been placed her under court order care. Her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., voices his concerns, stating that his mother has been adept at hiding her struggles from the public eye. Of course, the unsettling moments from the trailer have left people even more concerned about the star. Breakfast Club host Charlamagne tha God, who is also a close friend and former colleague of Wendy Williams, shared his reaction to the trailer, expressing his confusion about the invasive nature of the documentary. As previously reported, Wendy Williams' departure from her talk show was prompted by her battles with addiction and Graves' disease. Following Wendy's departure from the top show, Sherri Shepherd has taken over her time slot, eventually leading to the cancellation of Wendy's show. Wendy desires to return to television and revive her career is evident in the trailer, despite concerns expressed by her son, who believes she's already worked enough. The documentary leaves viewers pondering the future of Wendy Williams and potential obstacles she may face in reclaiming her place in the entertainment industry. As the documentary delves into her life, it also raises questions about the ethics of documenting such personal hardships. With the release of the full documentary, scheduled for February 24th and 25th, audience await a deeper understanding of Wendy Williams' journey and her future in the entertainment industry. And if you haven't seen the trailer, it's hard to watch. At one point, there's a whole bottle of alcohol, and someone says, "Did you drink all this?" And she says, "Put it down." But she looks out of it, even when when they do documentaries or even like reality TV, they have the standout parts where they do the interviews and they're done up. When she
Mhm.
was done up to do that part, she didn't even look good. And she's saying how she has no money, she has no access to money. She wants to get back in the spotlight, but it really looks like she really needs to take some time and really get the treatment she needs. Her dad is in there and he seems concerned, her son's concerned, her sister's concerned. The only person I didn't see in this documentary was her brother. And he had been very vocal on YouTube, talking about her personal life. But we haven't heard from a long time. Um, Chike, he said you want to see this. Tell us your thoughts on do you think shedding highlighting her struggles this as invasive as this documentary, you think that is important? Do you think that'll help her?
So whether you like her, hate her, however you feel about Wendy Williams, um, you have to acknowledge the fact that she has a very unique career. No one has had a career like Wendy Williams. She climbed herself up from the bottom and she made it to the very top. And due to personal situations, with her husband, um, you've seen her fall from grace. Wendy has had struggles with addiction and she's also had emotional issues. And I think partly because of her emotional issues and her personal issues, they kind of converged and it took a toll on her. Especially, think about you going through your regular stuff in life and then you still have to deal with work. But when your work is demanding as she had, and your husband's doing what he's doing, and you're in the public eye, it's going to take a toll. Plus, you have addictive tendencies. It was a powder keg, and it just happened. Sure, her fan base wants to see what's going on with her, one, and we all love a comeback, right? So the documentary is going to give us a glimpse into what's going on with her, and maybe more answers as to why she is where she is. But I think that Wendy has reached heights that she knew that she could reach, but maybe it's time for her to not be there anymore. She doesn't have what it takes to be in that space anymore, and maybe that space is toxic at this point in time. I'm interested. My advice is maybe you should go back to radio, Wendy. Just chill out. Still be able to do what you do creatively to keep your juices flowing, but maybe you need to pull back from that height that you needed to be on. And part of it too is, in the situation with her husband, the way that the paperwork was drawn up, he can't receive what he wants to receive from her as long as she's not working.
And
it's like a catch-22. So like as soon as she resumes and she gets back on her feet, he's gonna be nipping at her heels again. And it's like a delicate dance that needs to be played to keep him boxed out so that he doesn't reap the benefits of her success. It's really weird. I hope they talk about that in the documentary. But yeah, I'm curious.
She had announced a few years ago that she was going to do a podcast, and that never. She even released a picture and everything, like I guess what the cover art would be, and it never
So
came.
when stuff like that happens, Stephen, normally the deal fell through. The deal didn't work out.
Or
They
maybe
probably said yes, and
she's
then they
not
said no.
healthy. She might not be healthy enough to do it because she looks horrible on
Right,
that.
right.
Linnea, what are your thoughts on this?
The trailer was cringeworthy.
It was.
I don't know who her guardian is, but it ain't none of her family. So I don't know who her guardian is. And they're all, except for the brother, they're all a part of this documentary. So y'all getting something. Y'all done signed up for it. Y'all talking. But if you love me, you really gonna have me out here looking crazy like this?
Yes.
Like if you really, truly, honestly love me and you want the best for me, you gonna have me out here in these streets looking like that? Where people can like, it's like seeing when you, and I hate looking, I look at the comments because I want to see what people are saying. And, a lot of people were like, this is her karma. Regardless of what Wendy has done. You know what I mean? Like, you don't dictate what somebody's karma is. That's not for you to decide. And it's bad when you see people like fall apart at the seams that we've grown up with. And it's like, who is really holding her down? And it looks like nobody. Everybody just trying to get a piece of whatever they're gonna get a piece of. And I feel sorry for her. But I know that people are gonna tune in because people want to know, they want to see, even if they feel like they're watching somebody's demise.
Yeah, because remember she did the Lifetime movie on her life, and then she had, after the movie, she did a documentary. Did a documentary on her life, and she didn't look good in that either. She was crying the whole time. She was emotional. But this was right after everything came out about her husband and his child and girlfriend and all that stuff. But Brittany, what are your thoughts on this? You think it's a good idea?
I saw the Lifetime movie and I really enjoyed it. It gave me more insight into her and like how hard she worked, because before I just thought like she trolled people, like not knowing like how hard she worked to even get on the radio and it made me appreciate her more. Because I didn't have much like background information on her. It makes me wonder when I watch it, like, is there a contractual obligation as to why she had to do a part 2? Like, why would you just not leave it at the part 1? Or like, whose like lifestyle is she responsible for upkeeping? Because why is she still trying to work? Like you said, even in the behind the scenes after the movie, she was having to lift her feet up. Her feet were swelling. Like you could tell, like that was like the onset of something. So it's just like, it's really, really sad to see her go out like this. And as far as like a life lesson for me. I see now why people be like, go out while you're still on top instead of going all the way down and then trying to redeem, like, or like just like slumming your legacy kind of, because it's like it doesn't look good for her. It's more concerning. And like you said, at this point, people are tuning in just to see what's going on with her and to wish her bad. Like, just bow out gracefully while you're on top and while we all still have good memories of you. So that's my opinion.
Can I add this too? I'm sorry, Stephen. Something else for people to think about too. She has a guardianship, right? So that means that her money is being monitored. Perhaps this is a money grab from outside of the guardianship so that she can have some money so she can play around with or manipulate on her own. This probably is a separate deal outside of her camp dealing with, all of her finances the way that it was. Yeah. And, she has to survive. So maybe she's doing this as a separate deal to stand independently. We don't know. We won't know.
Yep. Yeah.
I felt like that, Chika. I felt like it was a financial obligation or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've heard she had to move to Florida. She's left New York. She, she sold her, then when she got got divorced, she moved to that, her apartment in New York. She sold that. Her son had to move out of his apartment that he was staying in because he goes to school in Miami.
But he wasn't paying rent anyway. Like it was like he was like behind thousands of dollars. He wasn't even paying rent.
So part of the situation is, if people don't know, Wendy pretty much had to sacrifice a lot of her life to get out of that situation with her ex-husband. And she was very focused on not being one of those women that paid men alimony. She wasn't going to do that. So she cut off her nose to spite her face.
We wish her the best. All right. So Kandi was on the red carpet at the Grammys yesterday, and she I saw 2 clips. So one clip, she said that she decided to take a break from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said that they had them sitting around too long to see, because they were talking about shaking things up in Atlanta with the cast, and she said they were sitting around for too long, and she had started working on some bigger projects that are coming soon that she's excited about. But another clip, she said that she wanted to negotiate her deal, and they wouldn't negotiate the money that she wanted, and that's why she stepped away. But Andy Cohen, he and Kandi posted this clip. Andy Cohen was talking about her departure on his radio show this morning, and he said that he was actually shocked that she announced it on the red carpet, but he said that was a good place to do it. But they had talked for a long time and thought it would be best. He told her she could always come back, and he really gave her a flower, saying all that she contributed to the show on camera and off camera. He said that during 2020, when there was a racial reckoning, she sent a letter to Bravo telling them what they could do to have more diversity, et cetera, different policies they could put in place. And he said the majority of them, they did do it. And he said that she would always call him with marketing, ideas for Atlanta. And even when he didn't agree with her, she would tell him, "You're making a mistake." He said a lot of times she was right. He said you got old lady gang from her, you got her team, and just everything that she brought to the show, Bolo, all that. And so he said that he told her that she could always come back. He said maybe in a year or 2 come back, and she even said that she would leave the door open. He also said that she does have other projects with Bravo, so she'll still be part of the brand, just if she's not on camera. But and then he said he'll be making announcements soon what's happening for Atlanta, because there is going to be a shakeup. But they're saying that they're trying to some people think they're trying to get rid of some of the OGs and bring in new people, or even bring Portia back. I'm sorry, Brittany, do you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta? And what do you think about Kandi?
I do. This is one of my favorite shows. I think it's time. I think, like, if you watch the last season, she was so busy with Escape and the SWV. She was barely had time between that. I know she was driven to get her EGOT. I think she had everything but a Tony. Yeah. And so she was really big on like the plays. And then her husband, I think, was requiring like, or not requiring, but like requesting her to be more supportive of his dreams. Like, and so she was trying to balance that. The restaurants, they had a shooting at Blaze. It was so much going on in her life. Like that even when they were filming, she was constantly getting into it with her cast members because she wasn't able to show up. She wasn't able to support their things and do all of this. Or when she came, she was late. She didn't want to be bothered with no petty arguments about stuff. Like you could tell she was just really over it. So like we said, like knowing when to leave out on your high note, like I think that this is a good time for her to do everything else that she's trying to do. Cause we know Kandi gonna go get a bag. And so she's a legend. Like, so I think this is a good time for her to leave. I would love for Nene to come back, but I know that her and Andy got issues, or Portia, but I don't know. Every time they try to bring somebody new, I don't never like the new people. Like I have not found a new person there that I like yet. So I don't know. I think it's hard for them to find a cast member that fits. I know Portia got into it with one of the new girls and stole a husband, or something happened with that. And so I just don't feel like they ever get the new cast members right. Like it never meshes well with the group.
Yeah. Some people talked about them getting rid of everybody and bringing in all new faces. Linnea, I don't think you watch the show, but what are your thoughts? Because Kandi's been there since season 2, so she's been there 14 seasons, and now she says it's time for a break. Could you see yourself being like on a show like that, or being at a job that long and saying, okay, I can take a break, especially if we have other things going on?
You know damn well I don't watch reality shows.
Our actress.
That ain't my thing. But I would say this: I know that Kandi is like one of the original Peaches, and even though I don't watch reality shows, I will say this: Kandi, to me, is the only one that's out there getting this money.
Yeah.
Because she got all kinds of different ventures going on. So this is not her soul. This is not her soul thing. Kandi got everything going on under the sun. Kandi is always on her creating content. She's constantly working with what's his name? Derek Blanks.
Yeah.
Like she's constantly doing creative stuff with him. Yeah. She got the bedroom Kandi. She got the restaurants. Like Kandi got so much more stuff going on, I feel, than the other people. And that's without me watching and knowing whatever. But it's just out there. If other people have other things going on, I have no idea. But I see Kandi.
Right.
Kandi's just like, I need this money. But I will, something to what Brittany said. You've been able to tap into so many things. You need to sow into your husband because he's had her back. So she really needs to put that energy into whatever it is he needs to do, because you you planted all these seeds, and her harvest is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's time for her to sow into her husband, because that's what you got to do in these relationships, because you don't want a resentful partner.
Yeah. Well, good thing, they had that movie come out on Peacock. Andy said on his when he was talking about Kandi, how they actually, Peacock bought the movie, and bought the rights. So that was Todd's project. So and he was saying that when he talked to Kandi for hours the other day, it was with Todd. So so Chike, what are your thoughts? So people are wanting, because Atlanta used to be the #1 show out of all the housewives, and now it's not. Like they get hundreds of thousands of views when they're out. Do you think her leaving will hurt the show, or what do you think they need to do with the cast?
Well, with Kandi goes her fan base. Kandi has a huge fan base from people. Some people may not know her from other than just the housewives, the younger generation, the children. And then you have the old heads who know her from Escape.
Right.
And then she has a whole nother set of people that probably just follow her due to all of her other things that she does as a businesswoman. So, it's going to be a dent. And Andy's going to have to figure out what kind of star power he's going to need to put on the show. Listen, I'm not mad at Kandi. It needs to make dollars and cents. And in the scheme of all the stuff that she's doing, and I'm going to just put it out there. Reality TV doesn't pay much. People think it does.
Yeah.
They floss a lot, but reality TV doesn't pay much. And in Kandi's world, that's kind of chump change. And how it works is she probably gets paid, like most people doing episodic TV, you get paid per episode. Mm-hmm. So when she does it when she has a block of time when she's free. Mm-hmm. That's money coming in per episode. She doesn't have that time anymore. She's taking on other ventures. And I do know she's trying to complete her EGOT, like Brittany said. And then the other part of that is she is pouring into Todd. And the next venture is film, because that's his world. So they're going to be producing films together. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at it. Andy got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. I don't know who they could get to be on the show. I would hope that they could create a new person and push them up to the top. But it looks like Kenya is going to probably get what she always wanted, is to be the queen of the housewives, at least for a little while, because she's
Oh, I hope not.
She's the next in line. She's the next vet.
Don't disappoint me.
I know, but she's the next vet.
Yeah,
she's the next one.
She did an interview, and they asked her about NeNe coming back. She said she thinks that is done because she sued Bravo. But she said she's not against NeNe coming back. She thinks NeNe's great for the show. But she said
I think NeNe is scorched earth at this point. Yeah. Like, she's problematic.
Yeah. I do agree.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right, last story. We got to hurry up. Okay, so Georgia prosecutor and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, is in the hot seat. So per Rutgers, Fani, who was trying former President Donald Trump for seeking to overturn his 2020 election defeat, acknowledged having a personal relationship with another lawyer on the criminal case. However, she denies the relationship tainted the prosecution. Reports state a court filing said claims that threatened to upend her office's historic prosecution had no merit. Donald Trump and two co-defendants are seeking to disqualify Willis and dismiss the charges. They allege that Willis benefit financially from the improper personal relationship with Nathan Wade, a lawyer she hired to help lead the investigation. In the filing, Willis said that her relationship with Wade did not give other prosecutor a personal or financial stake in the criminal case. He said claims of conflict of interest were based on statistical theories and rank speculation. Williams is fighting back and has asked the judge overseeing the case to deny attempts to remove her office from the case without holding a hearing, which is scheduled for February 15th. Now, one thing I did find out is that she actually asked 3 other attorneys to take on this case, and they all turned her down. One said that he did not want to have Secret Service the rest of his life. People were scared of MAGA. They're scared of that. But this what's his name? Nathan Wade. The rumors were that they were having an affair, and they did. He's gotten divorced, but they did unseal his divorce records because his wife apparently is the one that brought attention to this. She's a Republican. But when they unsealed the documents from the divorce, she's not listed anywhere in there. Fani isn't. So it was hundreds of pages. But I know we talked about this on the show last week. Linnea, what are your thoughts? That she acknowledged this. She didn't say anything.
She love him some Fani, child. She can love him some Miss Willis. And he don't like you. He like Miss Bonita right now for color, Living Color. Nobody better not ever say nothing about Miss Jenkins. Listen. Going into this, she knew. These people are coming full force. Anything that they can find, any reason that they can find, child, they're gonna find it. Now I don't know what her situation. Now, what was the man in the middle of the divorce, or was it during? It was if it was during his marriage, then it would have been mentioned in the divorce papers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, is that a conflict of interest? I don't know. Even though she asked other people, and I don't know, but oh, that's rough. But yeah, like you can't be playing, especially with the situation that she's in now and the climate that we are in. You can't play with these people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't play with. Is she married?
I don't think
No.
No. Okay.
No.
But yeah, you can't play with these people like that, girl. Girl, I know Chica ain't want to talk about it.
Well, Chica,
you can tell by the way he said no.
she had not acknowledged these, this conflict of interest previous to this, her filing the documentation, which she had to do. But she did go to a church where she was speaking on it, and she said that people expected her to throw in race when they've already thrown in race by digging into her life or whatever. What are your thoughts on this?
So, firstly, I want to shout out MVMO podcast. Just one of my favorite people in the podcast world. If you want to know the timeline from like all the divorce stuff to now, check the MVMO podcast out. She goes along with the timeline to prove to you what was what. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna leave that there. So, if people don't know about Mr. Wade, Esquire, he is renowned. He's a gun for hire as far as legal services are concerned. He's been a judge. He's been a prosecutor. And he's badass. That's why Fani Willis hired him. And like to your point, Stephen, what you brought up, other people were supposed to be a part of this, but they did not want to be a part of it because they didn't want that high profile of a case.
Right.
Attorney Willis knows, or excuse me, Madam DA Willis knows Mr. Wade, Attorney Wade. So why wouldn't you hire somebody that you knew that was a magnum gun who could deliver what you need delivered? So she hired him. Where she gets her vitamin D from is none of our business. None of our business. How does that take away from the fact that you tried to steal an election? How does that take away from the fact that you were criming? How does that take away from the facts that are the facts? What this lady does on the side has nothing to do with the facts on the table. The other thing is, when you get paid by the state as the DA, you get a check for your office. The office pays its employees. My check from the Stephen Knight Show has nothing to do with who I take out on a date with the money that I get from my employer. That's my business. No, it doesn't look good. Yes, there's a tax to be paid by every Black person in this country. We have to go above and beyond.
Right.
The bare minimum. We have to go above and beyond. No, it doesn't look good. Yes, it's a bad look. But the facts are the facts. I don't think that it's going to hold out in a court. These people are reaching out, trying to do anything that they can to delay, to curve, to swerve, to smear, to do whatever they can to not pay the price for what they did. DA Willis, hold on, honey. It's going to be all right.
They said the worst thing could happen if she does get taken off the case is that it will just delay this trial. They said that DAs are like roaches. That's what they kind of used on the scene. They said that there's
that's what they want because the election is happening.
But they'll say, but it will happen after the election. Yeah. Brittany, I know you had thoughts on this last week before we knew she confirmed the relationship.
Yeah, I completely agree with everybody else said with like Chica and Lania. Like it really has nothing to do with anything that's going on with Trump. But as we all know, they are going to search and try to find stains. Even when I think like, wasn't it Jesse Jackson trying to be president? They went and pulled all of these people out of the woodworks that he was sleeping with and stuff like that. Like we just know that's going to happen. Like I just feel like. Yeah, can we just take the life lesson and y'all stop having romantic work relationships? Like, let's just find find people somewhere else outside of the job. Like, it never works out. Like, every time I hear somebody banging somebody they work with, it always ends up bad. Like, either wait till that person finds another job somewhere else. You're not managing them. Like, it just never ever works out in your favor from what I've seen. Like, but I do hope that she hangs in there. This is a witch hunt. And I mean, we've seen it happen time and time again. So, you know, I feel bad that it has to be her, but you know, such is the course when we choose to, you know, partake in these things. So I'm glad she came up front and clean with it, so we could just move on from it.
Yeah, we already know what happens in these situations. They're gonna dig, they're gonna dig, they're gonna dig. But hopefully justice will still prevail. But we have to leave it there. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank y'all for having me again. It was fun.
Linnea, thank you. And Chicky, I'll see your movie reviews right back after this.